Mr. Bone here again. Going to clear up some more things on Edgenuity if I can. And first thing is getting a lot of questions, and it seems to be specifically from seventh graders. I haven't seen any sixth grade yet. Saying that when you go back in, it sets you back to a different date. Just don't worry about any of the dates. Those dates are there just to give you a guideline to say if you want to be done by a certain date, this is where you should be. And if you're not that far, it's sending you a date that says, realistically, it's only like you're on March 15th or whatever, instead of actually being on March 18th so don't worry about those. Just do your work, get it turned in. Everybody now, including somebody that I just talked to, everybody now that I look at, their stuff is there. It shows up. It's just showing you a different date to kind of give you an incentive to get working more if you're not on task. Those of you who are on time or actually ahead of schedule, you don't seem to be having any of those problems. So it really does seem to be people who are not exactly where the course thinks you should be for this time in our 2-week period. That doesn't mean that you're in big trouble. It just means that the course is telling you you're not as far as you should be if you wanted to just do a little bit every day and get done. So don't worry so much about the dates. Second thing, the grading. We don't know exactly how this is going to go into your grades right now. Just like everything else about this time period, everything seems to be changing by the hour. As far as what the state says, what our district says, all these things keep changing all the time. So we're just going to go through and do the work, do the best you can. If it's not your usual wonderful high grade that you usually get, don't worry too much about it. I mean, I'm not going to have this 2-week period while you're at home dealing with the real world somehow affect your grade to the point where it's going to bring it down so much. In my mind, I would like to do this as a credit, no credit. So if you did the work and you did a fairly good job on it, now you can't get through the whole thing of getting 10% on stuff. But if you do a fairly good job on it and you get the whole thing done, I'd like to give you full credit for it. That's the way I would like to do it. And I think I'm going to have that leeway to be able to do that. So grades, don't worry so much about. Progress, just keep working on stuff and turning it in. I can see it here. Other than that, I think things are moving along pretty well. If you have more questions, keep bringing them out to me and all that. One thing that I did is I turned on your ability to go into the class wherever you'd like. Now, I'm real leery about this. Mr. Wokulski and I talked about it, and I know that he's already sent out a message saying that it's been changed. I changed his this morning, and the world didn't seem to fall apart, so I'm changing mine right now. Edgenuity doesn't recommend that we do it this way. Here's the problem. Look at the side over here. Let's say that the way it normally is set up, you have to start off with the vocabulary, then you do the lecture, then you do some online stuff, you do some practice, and then you take your quiz. That's the way it's set up to work. By letting you pick where you are, you could presumably go down here to the quiz and try to take it, bomb it, and then you're going to run out of chances without even doing any of these things. And you still have to go back and do these to pass the class anyway. So if you are going to pick and choose where you're at, now maybe you decide that you would rather do the political unit before you do the climate ecosystem unit. I get that. That makes sense. But make sure you still are doing it in order so that you get everything you're supposed to get, your best chance of being successful, and so on. So again, don't just try to come down and take the topic test and think that you're going to pass out of the whole thing. Everything still has to be done. So you might as well do it in order. So those are the basic things I wanted to change today. As you can hear, my dogs have as much cabin fever as you guys probably do at this point. And I will sure talk to you soon.